There's a quiet movement unfolding in plain sight. It isn't trending, it isn't televised, and it doesn't demand applause. It's not loud or angry. It's disciplined. Ordinary, capable, good men are making choices that would have sounded unthinkable only a few generations ago. They're delaying marriage. They're deferring long-term commitments. Some are walking away from the dating marketplace entirely. Not because they hate love. Not because they're incapable of connection, but because they finally see that the old contract, the unspoken agreement of loyalty, reciprocity, and shared responsibility, has been rewritten without their consent, and they refuse to sign a deal that doesn't protect their peace. For centuries, men entered relationships with a clear expectation: if I sacrifice, if I provide and protect, if I give my all, that effort will be honored in kind. Commitment would be matched with commitment. But in the modern landscape, too many men learned the hardest lesson of all. Sacrifice without gratitude erases a man. The more he gives, the less visible he becomes. Eventually, he realizes the issue isn't that he hasn't given enough. It's that he's been giving into a system that doesn't value the currency he's paying with. This is not bitterness, it's clarity. From boyhood, men were handed a myth: your worth is measured by your ability to win, please, and keep a woman at any cost. Every movie, every song, every ad reinforced the story that a fulfilled man is a partnered man. That script once aligned with reality, because the social contract rewarded mutual duty. But the incentives shifted. Modern dating now optimizes for leverage and optionality, keeping doors open, maximizing attention, minimizing obligations. Intimacy is often curated for an audience. Relationships sometimes resemble PR projects that have to look good more than they have to be good. When a man finally sees that the scoreboard rewards spectacle over substance, he stops playing for applause and starts playing for peace. He isn't abandoning love. He's abandoning the performance. The striking part is how it happens, silently. No rants, no theatrics, no crusades, just quiet exits. The chase ends. The endless proving ends. The routine self-betrayals end. He redirects his energy into assets that compound: his body, his craft, his business, his character, his brotherhood. He invests in skills that can't be confiscated by a mood swing, a marketplace trend, or a courtroom stamp. And the irony is brutal. The moment he stops needing women's approval, he becomes more attractive than ever. But now his currency is different. He's emotionally unavailable to chaos. What drives this shift isn't fear, but clarity. Men discover that peace outranks performance. After enough nights of senseless arguments, enough silent treatments, enough emotional brinkmanship, they realize that the most romantic thing in the world is a calm nervous system, and they refuse to keep trading it for fireworks that always burn them. They recognize how gratitude has eroded. Protector and provider used to be honored roles. Today they are too often treated as baseline expectations seen only in their absence. Men see how affection can become conditional, wielded like leverage. They witness attention inflation, where one man's devotion is measured against 1,000 digital pings, a race no one can win. And they see the asymmetry of risk: marriages ending with reputations rewritten, savings erased, fatherhood reduced to weekends. Risk-aware isn't bitter, it's adult. If the downside is catastrophic and the upside conditional, sitting out is not fear, it's strategy. So he audits his life. He asks, does this relationship return more energy than it drains? Does respect show up consistently, or only when he's leaving? Does the bond thrive in private, or only online? Do calendars, money choices, and habits actually align with the values spoken aloud? Most of all, what part of himself has he muted or betrayed to keep it alive? And when the answers expose imbalance, he writes his never again list and honors it. Leaving has stages. First comes decompression. Sleep deepens, silence stops feeling like a threat, and starts feeling like oxygen. He realizes how many hours were spent managing weather he didn't create. Then comes reconstruction. His training sharpens, his work intensifies, his assets grow. He builds skills and systems no one can litigate away. Finally comes detachment, the superpower. Anger can be baited, detachment cannot. He stops auditioning. Standards replace speeches. No becomes a complete sentence. He isn't hard, he's clear. The men who walk this path set guardrails against bitterness. They refuse broad contempt, because the point isn't anti-woman, it's pro-peace. They train their nervous systems, lifting, walking, sleeping like it matters, because a calm body decides better than a flooded one. They choose brotherhood, because iron sharpens iron and isolation dulls the blade. They put purpose before partnership, designing a life that wins without romance. So any partner who joins is an addition, not a lifeline. And they codify their standards on paper: respect, fidelity, kindness, shared effort, so they never again negotiate their non-negotiables. They don't debate endlessly. They end drama with clean, short lines. When peace is bleeding, I won't live in a dynamic that drains me. I'm stepping back. When love turns into leverage, affection that depends on passing tests isn't love. I'm out. When respect collapses, respect is my baseline. If it's not mutual, this ends here. One calm sentence, followed by action, and then comes the rebuild. 90 days of recentering. First stabilize, cut the loops, sweat out the static, journal what brings peace. Then build capacity, acquire money skills, fix finances, serve others, expand purpose. Finally, codify standards, write your charter, practice boundaries, and only re-enter dating if your weak already works without it. By the end, he no longer feels like a man who left. He feels like a man who arrived, in his own life. Zoom out, and you'll hear the refrain. Where have all the good men gone? The answer: they didn't vanish, they reallocated. They're at the gym before sunrise, building businesses after dark, hiking trails, learning trades, strengthening communities, stacking skills. They're putting their energy into places with compounding returns instead of constant renegotiation. This isn't a war on women, it's a recalibration of men. When a man centers on purpose, everyone around him benefits. He's more grounded, more discerning, more magnetic, precisely because he doesn't need to be. Certain truths are becoming non-negotiable. Peace is not a luxury, it's the baseline that makes love possible. Respect is oxygen. Without it, nothing survives. Conditional affection is not intimacy, it's incentive design. Sacrifice without gratitude is self-erasure. And solitude is not failure. The wrong relationship is lonelier than an empty room. So for the man standing at the threshold, exhausted, uncertain, tempted to settle, clarity waits. If you have to abandon yourself to be loved, it isn't love. If peace is rare, and drama is routine, you are paying with your nervous system. If respect is conditional, your dignity is on layaway. If your efforts are only seen when you stop, you were invisible all along. And if you can build a life that thrives without her, you are not losing by walking, you are gaining everything. The paradox is that when you stop needing, you regain gravity. You speak less, and mean more. You move slower, and cover more ground. People treat you differently, because you treat yourself differently. Doors that once seemed locked open on their own, because you no longer beg to enter. Opportunity prefers men who don't bow to it. That's why, after men walk away, some are pursued harder than ever. But by then, the standards have changed. Beauty alone doesn't buy access anymore. Peace has a price, and he finally knows it. Men are not walking away to punish. They are walking away to protect, to guard their time, their sanity, their mission, their future. They are stepping off a treadmill that never ends, not because they gave up, but because they woke up. You were a man before romance. You will be a man after it. Your worth is not downstream of anyone's attention. Your peace is not a negotiation point. Fill your cup so completely that you never again tolerate someone who only shows up to drink from it. Walk away not to make a point, but to make a life. Because the man who chooses himself doesn't just win, he changes the rules for good.